In this short video about doors and windows, we're going to learn how to create new types of doors or windows. Specifically, a new type for this exercise is one of a different size than one that has already been created. So to start, let's create a wall. And now we can place a door into the wall. We'll go up to the ribbon and select our door icon, or again, type in DR for the hotkey. And in this one exercise, we'll start with a single flush 36 by 84 inches. That's 3 feet by 7 feet. And we'll just place it in the middle. You can see that I put the tag there. I'm going to go ahead and delete the tag. And I'm going to look at it in 3D while we do this as well. WT is a hotkey to tile the windows. So now I can look at the floor plan on the left side and the 3D plan on the right side. Now, if we select this door, we can go to the type properties, edit type, and we can see all the properties that we can change. Before we do that, let's step back and see by highlighting the door and selecting the drop-down menu from the properties palette, so the drop-down menu here, you can see which sizes have already been loaded with this type of door, the single flush door. We have all these doors. Well, let's, to make it obvious, let's make a door that is 4 feet by 4 feet. So it's going to get wider and shorter, and we'll be able to see that not only in the floor plan when it gets wider, but in the elevation. Remember, Revit is a modeling program, so whenever you affect or change the parameters of one object, you see it in all of the views that that object is seen. So let's get started. To change this door to a 4 foot by 4 foot door, first we highlight it, and because we want to change every door of this type, we're going to change the type parameters. Now the very first thing we want to do is either duplicate or rename this family. If we want to change this door to a 4 foot by 4 foot and not affect any of the other doors that we might have in this project that are this size, we will rename it. Let's go ahead and create another door of the same size right next to this one so we can watch what happens when we change one. We'll start with this one and we'll edit the type. And on this instance, we will rename the door. And we're going to make it 48 inches by 48 inches. That way we know, just by looking at the name, the size of this door. Now we need to change the type parameters so that the name, 4848, will match the height and the width of the actual door. So right now it's a 7 foot tall door with a 3 foot width. But it's named, we renamed it, remember we renamed it 48 by 48. To do that again. Let me see if it's in there still. No, I'm going to rename it again. Sorry about that. 48 by 48. And when I rename it and I change this, watch what happens to the other door. They both get changed. That one not only changed in size, you can see it over here as well, but it got changed by the name. Remember, we highlighted or selected this door and changed it. But because we renamed it, every door that was of this type, remember it was a 36 by 84 type, every door that was of that same type not only was renamed, but it was resized. So let's do one more. Let's take this one and we'll copy it. CC is copy. And we'll just copy it over here. And let's zoom out here so we can see it. Now let's take this door and edit this type. Same thing. Let's change the size of it. But in this instance, let's not change its properties by renaming it. Let's change its properties by duplicating it. When you say duplicate, you can see that Revit prompts you with a number 2 at the end. That's because it knows you can't name it the same, so it's going to automatically put that 2 on the end. Normally you don't want that, but you do need to change the name. So let's make this one 7 feet by, let's make it 10 feet by 10 feet. So 120 inches by 120 inches. So we're going to make this huge door, and that way we know, we can see visually what happens. So we'll change that. Now don't forget, we changed the name, but we haven't changed the dimensions of the door. We haven't changed its parameters. If we hit OK, it would be very confusing. If we select this door, which is the same size as the other two, the name is 120 inches by 120 inches. It should be 10 feet by 10 feet, and it's not. If we select this one is named and sized correctly. It's named 48 inches by 48 inches, and it's 4 feet by 4 feet because we changed it in its type properties. Let's go back to our supposedly 10 foot by 10 foot door. We'll go back to edit the type, and now we'll fix the height to 10 feet, and we'll fix the width to 10 feet, 100 inches. Hit OK. Now remember, we duplicated this one. When we renamed it, all of the doors of that type changed. But when we duplicate it, only that one door changes. So when we duplicate, we make a copy of it, and only that one is changed. But when we rename it, we're basically changing all of the doors of the same type. Windows are very similar. They're exactly similar. If we add a window and we want to change its type or its dimensions, we go to we highlight it first, we go to its type properties, we rename or duplicate it, and we change the height or the width. And that is how you change the type or the size of the windows and doors in Revit.